A WrestlePalooza match goes wrong. Big changes coming to AEW. The real reason Stephanie Vaquer was missing from WWE TV. And more. I'm Ollie Davis, and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
As Triple H said in the opening to WrestlePalooza, the merging of WWE and ESPN is pro wrestling's final form. And that final form is brand integrations. Brand integrations everywhere. Papa John's logos on the ring canvas, the cone zone at ringside, EMF protecting devices to stop phone signals turning your kids gay, and now, reportedly, even a sponsorship deal for joke gimmick wrestler El Grande Americano. According to WrestleVotes Radio, WWE is in talks with an undisclosed major food and beverage brand which will feature promotion from El Grande Americano, who is currently played by Ludwig Kaiser, or Pete Dunne, or Tyler Bate. Picture the commercial. A customer orders a large Americano coffee at a Starbucks and they serve them Ludwig Kaiser in a Mexican wrestling mask. It's a perfect joke because a large Americano is kind of El Grande Americano in Spanish. And also because Starbucks sucks at getting your orders right. And coffee in general. It tastes like hangovers in a service station. Pitch me your best El Grande Americano sponsor ads in the comments down below. Everyone, please upvote the worst ones. But like the drugs, the sponsors don't always work. Because while the Usos vs. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed tag match at WrestlePalooza was the first ever match to feature EMF protecting technology around the ring, allegedly to stop electromagnetic fields from affecting the wrestlers' brains, it didn't stop the steel chair. Near the end of the tag match, Jey Uso swung a chair at Bron Breakker's back, but because Bron Breakker's back is so strong, it threw the chair back into Jay's face. Jay started to bleed immediately from the forehead and stumbled on his feet. He had enough awareness to throw the chair at Bronson Reed climbing up onto the apron, but then he collapsed into the ropes as LA Knight, the special guest referee, checked if he was okay. Perhaps a decision was made right then to go to the finish, as Breakker then speared Jay, then hit another one on both Jay and Jimmy through the table set up in the corner, and then Reed hit a tsunami on Jay to win. Wrestling Observer has reported that Jay's chair shot had indeed gone wrong, and he was placed in concussion protocol after the match. Fightful added that blood was not intended for that spot. Jay has since posted, "I'm good," blood drop emoji on his Instagram stories, with an image of him looking definitely not good. Concussion protocols usually require the injured person to rest for a period of time before returning to physicality, so it's highly unlikely Jay will wrestle on tonight's episode of Raw. This is reportedly the second high-profile concussion WWE has suffered over the last several weeks, as Tiffany Stratton wasn't cleared for the NXT Homecoming Trios match last Tuesday. This was following her SmackDown Women's title match against Jade Cargill, where she landed bad after a moonsault to the outside, after which she was reportedly put in concussion protocol too. This likely led to a planned three-way between her, Cargill, and Nia Jax being pulled from the WrestlePalooza card, and instead getting moved to this Friday's episode of SmackDown. And these haven't been the only issues with the WWE locker room. Fightful is reporting that Piper Niven is also currently out with an undisclosed injury, after not wrestling since beating Charlotte Flair last month. WWE apparently don't know how bad it is yet, but it does seem to have scuppered the women's tag team title match Piper and Alba Fyre were building to, and now Chelsea Green has posted, "Our beloved head of security, Slagent P, is currently out on a top secret special assignment. In her absence, the Secret Service will be accepting intel dossiers, aka resumes for you dummies, and video submissions for a potential fill-in candidate. Only those with a license to slay, investigative background of Sherlock Holmes, and an impeccable record of she-curity will be looked at." Kiss hug, president of Chelsea Green fandom, Chelsea Green. If Green is indeed looking for a proper replacement, that could mean Niven is out for a longer period of time. Going into WrestlePalooza, there was also some weird uncertainty over Stephanie Vaquer. After winning her women's title shot at July's Evolution, she wouldn't wrestle for the next 6 weeks of TV. And her pre-announced contract signing segment with Io Sky was suddenly pulled on the day of the show. Everything turned out for the best as she won the vacant women's world title, defeating Sky at WrestlePalooza's match of the night. But now Triple H has revealed what's made Vaquer miss so much TV time over the summer. I'll let everybody in on a behind-the-scenes secret with Stephanie. In the last few weeks, Stephanie has been very sick. I don't know the details, details of the flu-type thing that was going on, but she was very sick. It was why she missed the TV, it was why there was some odd build to it, and she was able to feel well enough and get cleared medically to compete tonight. Elsewhere at WrestlePalooza, Fightful is reporting that the backstage reaction to the intergender tag of CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch was very positive, and those Fightful spoke to thought Lee did really well in her first match back after 10 years. Becky Lynch was also heavily credited for her performance, with one longtime WWE name particularly putting over how great she makes other people look who have just come back from long absences. Rollins' next program, for a change, won't include CM Punk, as it was set up in the post-show where he interrupted Cody Rhodes for a stare-down, posing with their respective world titles. Triple H later confirmed that the two would wrestle at Crown Jewel Perth in 3 weeks' time to determine the next men's Crown Jewel champion, which is apparently still a thing, even though we don't have to give Saudi Arabia its own belt thing this year. So get ready for the major singles championship feuds to pause for a month on both Raw and SmackDown as they fight over a ring. Someone else who made a return at WrestlePalooza was Paul Heyman, who made a surprise appearance during the opening match to do Brock Lesnar's ring introduction. But then he disappeared for the resulting match, not being at ringside nor celebrating with Brock after he won. This came the day after a SmackDown segment where Brock told Heyman they should talk. But when Heyman was asked on the post-show whether this was the start of them being back together long-term, he deflected. You think I have a frickin' death wish and I'm gonna talk about Brock Lesnar's business in public? One legit surprise, however, requires me to eat some humble pie. After Triple H was surprised with a Hall of Fame induction this year, which was reportedly 100% planned, Stephanie McMahon was surprised by an awkwardly jovial Undertaker at WrestlePalooza, where he said she was to be the headline inductee into the 2026 Hall of Fame. I cynically said in my review that, as lovely as Stephanie's reaction was, this was most definitely a work. It's pro wrestling! But Fightful is reporting McMahon was legitimately surprised by her Hall of Fame announcement. So I guess, yep, time for that humble pie. I was Can't seem to say it. Very sorry, everybody. I'm gonna have to disassociate for a minute. Ollie Davis says he was wrong. Reportedly. But it's still super weird they did this in September. Over in AEW, All Out is said to have done well on pay-per-view buys by Tony Khan. It's the third consecutive AEW pay-per-view that started in the afternoon, with July's All In moving to an earlier start time when WWE counter-programmed with Goldberg's retirement and Saturday night's main event, August's Forbidden Door that was always going to start earlier with it taking place in London, and All Out also moving to the afternoon when WWE announced WrestlePalooza for the same time and date a month out. But shock! Who could have seen it? WWE's counter-programming might have backfired. By forcing AEW to shift their pay-per-view start times earlier in the day, it appears to have helped their big show buy rates. All In did a great number at an estimated 175,000. Forbidden Door outperformed expectations at around 125,000. And now All Out is said to have done well also. Traditional wrestling pay-per-view mindsets always have had the big event starting in the evening of a Sunday. But over the last several years, with streaming platforms breaking the structure of linear TV viewing habits, audiences have become far more accepting of watching wrestling at different times of the day. And for AEW's much longer shows, starting earlier might suit them better. Khan did hint on the post-All Out media scrum that afternoon start times for shows might become standard from now on. But that's not the president's only major announcement. Because partying like it's 2023, when every other week promoted a different huge, major, or Shazam Fury of the Gods statement, All Out advertised an important announcement from Khan on this Wednesday's Dynamite. The leading speculation is that this will be to do with the tag division, as so many big tag teams have been reunited over the last few months, with Cope and Christian, the Young Bucks, FTR, Jurassic Express, Brodido, The Acclaimed and more. Perhaps we'll get a tag tournament or league in the style of New Japan's annual World Tag League. But there's definitely been movement on the women's division too, with Triangle of Madness, Cameron and Statlander, Anna Jay and Tay Mello, Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa. So there could be a women's tournament announced also to crown inaugural tag team champions. The Wrestling Observer has written that Khan did have women's tag belts made some time back, but injuries delayed starting the tournament to crown them. Everyone now appears to be back and ready to fight. Thank you everyone who's bought my debut book HearRational so far that came out earlier this month. It's already become the publisher's fastest ever selling book. And an even bigger thank you to those who've written very nice 5-star reviews on Amazon. If you've ordered one and read it, please also do that. And if not, you can order your copy in the link in the video description below. Also, if you want free writing from me, I've started a mailing list where I'll be sending out dumb pieces I've come up with. Visit olliedavis.com to sign up, and I'll send out my first weird short story this Friday. It's in the format of a top 5 list, because all I know is clickbait. Was WrestlePalooza a disappointment? And what the hell went on with Brock Lesnar squashing John Cena? Click the video on screen now to watch mine and Luke's podcast review of the show, and all of AEW All Out 2.